All right. Well, sorry, everyone. I was already talking before we were recording, and I was telling everybody how important the B vitamins are. So, as I said, Chris doesn't know this yet, but now he knows that we're going to do our very first free webinar on vitamin B1, 2, and 3 to get our January started. So stay tuned to that, but make sure you're upping your thiamine, especially. So B1, you've got to up that right now. B6, B1 combo is probably great from Zorex. Power pill, fabulous. If you're going to take power pill, maybe the latest you want to take power pill is probably like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Maybe you could push it to about 4. If you're feeling like the afternoon dip, it's okay to take a couple, but I probably won't take the power pill past sundown. Okay. So right now, winter, the sun's going down by what, 4:30, 4 o'clock-ish, right? So I wouldn't take the power pill then, because then you're just going to get powered up. Okay. And you need to slow down then, right? So, and then the sympathetic balance is a great one right now. If you're going to be traveling, you're going to be air traveling. Okay. And if you're going to travel on air, then you've got to get the EMF spray in your mouth before you go through is it TSA? Is that
Yeah.
through the check-in, check-out points, or whatever that's called. Chime in, Chris. What is that called?
Yeah, the security checkpoints, you got it.
Checkpoints, that's right. So make sure you spray inside your mouth and just spray your body front, back, side to side. Okay. That's a really good way to get into the airport. And then right before you go on the aircraft. So I usually go to the bathroom, so I just don't look like I'm a weird druggy person, right? I just go into the toilet area. I just spray myself. Okay. That's been actually, Zorex has done a lot of studies on it to prove that it's very helpful with the EMFs. So make sure to do that. Other things, if you do have what is it? The Complete Care Spray Plus that has the silver in it and the other things like iodine and zinc and other things to support your body. That's a great one to spray inside your mouth too. So when I got back from the post office, the first thing I did was a sinus spray up my sinuses, and then I did the Complete Care Spray. And then I've been spending way too much time in front of the computer, so EMF spray. Okay, so those are a couple of things to support you this time of the year. And last thing I wanted to say is, really try to come back to kind of a seasonal eating. So if you're still buying the spring green mix at the grocery store and eating your salad, okay, listen, if you're Northern Hemisphere, you are not supposed to be buying spring mixes right now. Okay. So no more like baby greens and baby spinach. Do you see them on the ground? No, then don't eat them. Okay. Blueberries are not in season. Okay. And a lot of these fruits, like apples, are fine, but even apples are like seasonally, you want to start to bake them more than just eat them raw, right? And this is the time that they are starting to shift into eating things like citrusy things. So oranges, I grew up in a part of Japan that has this amazing, this is like the place that started those cutie oranges. That's where they first originated from. Okay. So those are great. It's just that they've been kind of a changed and they are very, very sweet. So be careful not to eat the whole bag of the cuties because you won't feel cute by the end of that many cuties. Okay. So grapefruit's pretty good. Lemons are not quite time yet, but it's coming. So citrusy things, pomegranates. Pomegranates are a little high in oxalates though, so just be aware. A lot of these seasonal fruits in the winter, the skins are thick for a reason, right? Because that's oxalates. They protect themselves. So peel those. Okay. Even apples, I would probably peel this time of the year. And if you must have some berries, do berry like pie type of thing. So you're baking them. Okay. So when you bake them in the wintertime, you can get a lot more of the yang energy coming back and you won't throw off your vata energy in the Ayurveda. So you don't get too dried up. Okay, so drying up foods are not great this time of the year. I'm sure many of you are starting to notice that your skin is drying, your hair is drying, your eyes are drying. So this is when getting plenty of omega-3s and safflower, not safflower, but the sunflower flax combo from Zorex is good. I also do like the evening primrose oil from Biotics is great too. Last night, actually, I noticed that I was eating maybe too much saturated fats and not enough of that evening primrose side of the oil. So I bit 2 capsules and spat, I think, out of the capsules into the trash. And this morning I felt a lot more moisture coming back onto my lips. So if your lips are one of those lips that they dry out a lot, check into your fat contents and don't overdo one kind of fats. Make sure you get the variety of fats. Okay, so a couple of those things. Obviously, in terms of the vegetables, this is when you want to eat leeks, like maybe radishes, not the summer radishes, but the winter ones. Cook the radishes. This is great to make like leek potato soup, kind of in onion soup. If you can handle onions and garlic, that's what you want to be making. Really nice, creamy. Maybe you make it with the coconut milk or something. Those would be great. Cauliflowers are still fine. Broccoli family's okay. But it's time of cabbage now. Okay, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. This is the time for that. And going into squashes, pumpkins, um, you know, other turnips and things that are a little bit more wintry vegetables. So be careful to not always do, like I said, spring green mixes from the grocery store. If you're still buying them, stop. Okay, stop the nonsense of spring mixed salads. So I think that's good. Meat wise, you know that making stews, pot roast, any of those things are great. Okay. We just had pheasant last night, lamb, fabulous. Beef, great, any kind of pot roast type of thing. And making bone broths. So that's kind of what I have. Oh, cranberries and things are fine, but make sure you cook them, yeah. And spices like winter spices. So using like chai mixture. So cinnamon, clove, cardamom, coriander, any of those, the cumin kind of a thing. Those would be great. Ginger, turmeric, any of those. Okay. So that's what I wanted to mention before we got started. And like I said, we'll do a webinar. Chris, we're gonna do it. Okay, Chris, you and I haven't talked about it, but B vitamins 1, 2, 3, and tell you more about it. But if you are having any kind of a nervous energy, feeling kind of a sense of anxiety kick in the morning or at the end of the day, your nerves are hurting as well, like prickly feelings, sciatica, any kind of like a fatigue. B vitamins, okay, but particularly B1, B2 is good, B6 is great, okay, but we'll start with the 1, 2, 3 in January. All right, so let's start with Chris. You have anything to add before we get started?
It was pretty comprehensive, so I think you should just get right to the questions.
Yeah, let's do. And so when you have a question, just raise your hand. I think that's a little easier. It's a smaller group. And I want to thank you all for purchasing from us. I know there are many, many places you can purchase lots of different things from, but thanks for trusting us and trusting our research and know that we're the guinea pigs. I never talk about any supplements until and unless I've tried it on myself. So that part you can trust. So that's what I wanted to say there. And we got the usual. We got Ilka showing up here. So I'm going to start with Fran. Fran, I need you to put your camera on. So at least do that when you're raising your hand so I can see you. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. See if I can get the camera. Yeah, I can hear you though.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. And you're totally, totally backlit, just so you know.
Oh darn.
It's a beautiful silhouette, but that's all.
But let me see if I can shut the blind here. That will help. Hang on a
Oh,
second.
you must be somewhere that still sun is up.
Yeah, there you go.
It's completely dark here.
Wait a minute. Let me try to. Oh boy, now I'm still dark, huh? Let me get.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right, friend.
All right.
You made the effort. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So, I was recently diagnosed with, walking pneumonia, had the antibiotic treatment and got over that. But what's happened residually, and I've had pneumonia before, and so this is a bit unusual, is um, still difficulty with any kind of exertion, kind of still feeling that chest pressure, and tightness and even just with a little bit of exertion. So, I am scheduled to see a pulmonologist, but it takes a couple months to get an appointment. And also, they had me see a cardiologist too, who wants me to do a stress test because he thinks sometimes this exertion, this might be heart as well. So I'm trying to deal with heart and lungs, and I had some gastro, issues. So I would appreciate any insights you can offer.
Well, I mean, by the time you have that twice pneumonia, and then like, was it this year that they had pneumonia already once, and this is the
Oh,
second
no,
time?
no, it was a couple years ago that I had it. And then I got it again this year. So I think it was October.
So what do you, I guess my first question is, what are you doing about probiotics? Are you taking probiotics?
Yes.
What kind and how much?
Just one a pill a day. I can't remember. I got it through Full Script. I can't remember the name of the probiotic, but I would appreciate certainly, and I'm all about running out of that. So I'd appreciate, your recommendation on probiotics.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where you have to start,
Okay.
because when you do antibiotics, it actually impacts your body up to 6 years.
Wow.
Okay, so everyone, you've got to really just sit down with yourself and say, do I seriously need to take antibiotics, or is it just like something that doctor just throws at us,
Yeah.
right? So we're just kind of taking antibiotics like a candy these days. So we're at the kind of a limit in human physiology of being exposed to so much antibiotics, right? So you want to make sure your diet doesn't have hidden antibiotics coming in, because that's going to continue to assault your body. Okay. And I can't. So let me finish that thought first. Is that you want to make sure you're eating grass-fed, wild caught, all organic, no exceptions. Basically, you just can't make any excuses, because when you don't eat that way, you're going to be taking antibiotics,
Okay.
right? You're taking antibiotics through the foods that have been fed antibiotics. So make sure your antibiotics are, being offset by probiotics. And I would probably start with Zorex's Saccharomyces boulardii, and that's in our website. So
Okay.
you can look up Saccharomyces boulardii, and I made a video on that too. But you've got to get started with that. Let me see, every day. Yeah, every day for just one capsule. And it's like a tiny little capsule. They tell you to take up to like 4 or 6, but with you, just take one, okay? And without food, okay? Without food. So in between foods will be good. First thing in the morning is fine. Before you go to bed, it's fine. Somewhere between lunch and dinner, it's fine. But just take one capsule. Just finish up the whole bottle. Okay,
Okay.
that's going to help you not get more yeast overgrowth and fungal overgrowth that's going to start impacting your lungs.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's one. And when you have pneumonia, you have to support your thymus. So SOS, Chris, is that correct? SOS has the thymus in it, right? So do the SOS from Zorex. So you can go to, let me open my website so you can kind of take a look. But Fran, before I go there, are you married?
No.
No. Okay. Do you live alone?
I've been caring for a family member, which has been quite stressful, but I think they're going to be going into assisted living or another facility, which is yeah. I mean, and I feel badly for them because I know it's not an ideal situation that somebody wants to go into, but it is a relief for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like someone you're living with, something, it's been so stressful for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been so much weight. Like, I feel like when I tune into you, it's like somebody's stepping on your lungs,
Mhm.
like, with a big boot on it. And it's beyond sadness. Like, you've handled sadness quite well. You've handled grief in your life quite well. But this is just like beyond overwhelm. It's almost like, the uh, I don't know if this was kind of the same picture kids book that you saw, but when I was growing up in Japan, the Gulliver's Travel or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah,
Where
yeah, yeah.
he finds himself like strapped down, like when he first wakes up on the beach or something. Have you seen that image of him getting like tied up, and then he's nailed down, and these little people are, tying him down? That's the image that comes to me. Does that
That's
make
a great
sense?
analogy. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And having that person that you've been caring for, as tough as this is, go to a facility that has 24/7 care that
Mhm.
is not given by you
Mhm.
is a must,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have very much depleted your energy, depleted your reserves. Like, you don't have a lot of reserves. So the second thing I was thinking was like, wow, you're malnourished. Like, you don't have nourishment
Uh-huh.
coming back in. In many ways. Like, it's like laughter, even art, like, anything like that will nourish you, music, dance, funny movies, and food. I mean, it's all these things, but it's been hard to attend to any of those things.
Yes, that's very, very.
Pneumonia is, I would say, it's probably the highest level of long accumulated sadness and grief and exhaustion.
Yeah.
Right. And to have it, I know you haven't had it, this was the first time this year, but you've had it in the past. So it's
Right.
kind of has become your kind of Achilles heel,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Make sure you take care of your lung area. And if you've never done the lung retreat, you probably should. And if you did, then do the lung retreat again. Okay.
Okay.
Like go over that. I don't know you've taken my lung retreat, but I would definitely do that. Okay. So let me just share the screen for a moment.
Masami, while you're sharing the screen, can I just ask a question of Fran really quick? Fran, do you ever have any digestive issues, like with your stomach?
course
Um, Not normally, but it's interesting because, for a while I did, and it just seemed to come on suddenly that no matter what I would eat, it wouldn't be like, a very, excruciating stomach pain, but I would have stomach pain, and then I would start to like, burp a lot, which I never used to do.
Right.
So, and then I, did see a gastroenterologist, and then I didn't really do anything. I cut down some stuff because I noticed like, certain foods with spices, like eating, Thai food or something would aggravate it. And I was drinking, in the evening, some of like Calm, the magnesium for, for sleep. And I noticed that seemed to exacerbate it. So I quit those things, and it didn't go away. But I think this is all connected: heart,
Yeah,
lungs,
it's all connected.
gut,
And
right?
the
Yeah.
reason I'm asking is because one of the things that we talk about most often is the need to support stomach acid,
Mhm.
especially as we get older, especially when we're under stress. And there is a connection that's observed clinically between people that have pneumonia and people that have low stomach acid. Because
Uh,
what can happen is you can start to have a reflux pattern when you're not digesting, when your bile is backed up, and it can actually come up your esophagus at night, and then you end up inhaling some of that acid into your lungs. And that can also produce a bacterial overgrowth. And so that's something else to pay attention to. And then the way to address it is the way that we talk about just about everything else, which is increase the stomach acid support and increase your liver gallbladder support. So I'll let Masami comment on that if she has anything to say, but that's just an observation I wanted to throw out.
So our question is, Ron, did you buy our healthy digestion bundle? Have you ever done that?
no, I've done like digestive enzymes and,
Okay,
that
so
sort of thing, for an aloe berry soup and stuff,
I'm
but I
gonna give
haven't
you,
done the bundle. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna give you homework, okay? Because I feel like I'm repeating myself every time I'm on these kind of calls.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna give you homework, okay?
Okay.
Chris, can you put the link to the video, okay, that we've done? And it's probably in our store. Okay, so Fran, this is a basic stuff, and I just saw Leonardo da Vinci's quote also. I wrote it down and I put it up in a sticky note up there, but it's basically saying that you've got to come back to basics. If your basics are not being met, you can't build a house. If you don't have a foundation, you can't build a house. So if you go down to our store, okay, and I don't know how long you've been following us, but you've just got to do the basics.
Okay.
Don't decorate the tree. Just go get a good tree. Don't decorate the Christmas tree yet. Okay. Don't light it up. Okay. So this is where you start. Healthy digestion bundle, right?
Okay.
Okay. And you can watch the healthy digestion bundle video. And I don't know why that other video is not here, but Chris will give you the link there, but you can go to the video under the resources and then click on declutter your supplements, 6 must-have supplements.
Oh,
And
okay.
there are also, I would only watch these that we have built up here. Okay. There are a
Mhm.
lot of other videos, but start here. Just start here. But if you don't have the basics of this healthy digestion bundle, okay, right here, it's, I mean, it's like you and I are having a conversation around, let's decorate your windows and let's put furnitures but then I look at you and say, but you haven't even built a house yet. So why are we talking about furnitures?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's kind of the level of conversations we're having. So
Yeah.
I'm glad Chris brought it up. I think when you take antibiotics, you have 6 years that you have to turn back the clock. So it's not easy. So next time antibiotics are handed to you, you need to really, really ask your own inner self. And Saccharomyces boulardii is in here, right? So if you go to the SHIJKLMNOPQ right there. Okay, so Saccharomyces boulardii, we have a video here as well, so you can watch that. And this is used for any kind of antibiotics usage. post. So this is a really good way to support that. Okay. And
Okay.
thymus, your thymus is pretty run down. Just looking at it, like energetically, it's so run down in the heart center. It just shows your heart is really exhausted. Your body's exhausted. So you want to build up your glands by doing a, where am I? Okay, here it is. So SOS,
Okay.
that's the anti-stress formula, and it's got a whole bunch of different glands in there, including thymus in there. So you want to build up your thymus. At your age, your thymus has been shrinking down into a smaller size. So, and there's the video too. Okay.
Great.
This goes for anyone and everyone, just please come back to the basics. We are nation full of interested in new gadgets. I'm one of those people, right? And I think maybe some of you are too, but that carries like old iPhones. That's me, because it's like basics are there. Like I don't need the highest quality camera. So let's come back to digesting, like Chris said. Let's make sure you're not burping. Okay. So when you are having digestive issues, the answer is you are having digestive issues. How could you not? You're under so much stress. Okay. So
Yes.
please watch those things. Chris has given you a direct information here on the healthy, no, not healthy digestion, but the declutter right there. Do you see that in the chat? Declutter your supplements webinar. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you could click on it, you can watch it, take notes, learn about it, educate yourself so you don't have to go back to the doctor with pneumonia again. All right.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're welcome. Take good care of yourself. This is not easy. What you're going through is not easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
All
you. Thank you so much, Masami.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So let's go, Ilka.
Hi everyone. Hi, Masami and Chris. I just wanted to ask whatever you can tell me about that month, the 6 months pain that I have been having. I understand that these things will kind of work cleansing the liver. I know that it is a long process, but anything you can tune in and tell me that can help with that pain. But also, it seems like it's disfiguring that side of my body, like it's more humped up because I'm limited of doing stuff. I can even lay on the floor and put that arm down when I do some floor exercises or yoga or something. So anything you can help me with that.
So I think you are doing everything you can, right? Time is on your side, right? And it's the bursitis or the right shoulder pain issues, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you and I've been in touch many times, just you've got to just keep up with it, okay? The nerve damage will take a long time. It takes about 9 months to 12 months
Oh,
to
it's 6
heal.
months. Really?
Nerve damage when it comes to nerves.
So
Muscle,
that is the damage? I thought it was some kind of like a little things. So it's nerve damage from.
nerve damage will take some time. Okay. Muscles may be a little less. And also there's an added issues with shoulder pain is very, very common for women post-menopause. Okay. I just want you to know that that's very, very common. Like bursitis is a very common symptom for post-menopause, menopausal women. Okay. So this is when you've got to look into hormones as well to support your hormones.
So all
So
that DIM and the AD and all those things.
exactly. And then you may want to try progesterone, progesterone cream, progesterone. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, you're doing a progesterone. Are you doing a progesterone cream?
No, we talk about doing it later or something, just to do all those things that the bundle and the AD, the DIM, the zinc, and spray with the magnesium. That's one thing that I do it sometimes, but it's so itchy. So is the lack of the magnesium spray that I'm not totally doing every day that I'm lacking to help with the pain? Or
Yeah. So, it just takes time, and that's the hardest thing, because it didn't happen overnight. This wasn't like you got into a car accident and then boom, you got into pain, right? This has been building and building. And this is where progesterone can be very, very helpful because it's a very cooling, it's a yin energy, it lowers inflammation. And I will read one of the emails that I received about the progesterone not the cream. I mean, I use the cream too, but I use this one that, if you want to reach out to me directly about this, I will give
Okay,
you
which
an
one?
yeah, give you an idea of which one that I use and I can mail that to you. But she said uh she was starting to use this progesterone, and because she was just not feeling like herself, and just really within a few weeks of using this, she felt like she was back. So I was trying to find the email that she just sent me, and um
Mm.
yeah, I mean, she's doing just great. I just sent her 2 bottles. So, and it has changed my life using this in terms of the pain, because I used to get a lot of scar tissues pain, and that's all gone since I started using a progesterone cream from Zorex, and then this liquid kind. So, it's something that I don't publicly talk about it so much, except for this kind of a small group. So if any of you are interested in, you can like reach out to me about it. But it's oral, and you rub it, or you use your tongue to rub it around your gums, and it's very, very helpful. So oh yeah, I think this is it. It's just also noticed, oh, I just finally okay, hold on. She started using molecular. Okay, so this is a molecular progesterone liquid. It's an oil-based thing that you use in your mouth so you can ingest it that way. She says it has really helped my sleep. I don't even need to take melatonin anymore. Plus, I wake up refreshed, not tired, groggy, and have better, clearer dreams that I remember. So that's really, really good. And I also noticed it has taken the edge off. I'm not so reactionary or intense, more like my old self. And yeah, and she's not using a huge amount. She's just using a 5 drops kind of a day kind of a thing, and it's been great. So, if she wants to say some more, you can always. You want to say something? Okay, hold on.
Me, I'm sorry.
Oh, hold on. Not you, Ilka. Hold on a
Somebody
second.
else.
Yeah, I'm asking her to pitch in if she wants to. I'm trying to ask to unmute, but I'm not sure if it's working.
Okay, I got
There
it.
you go.
Can
There
you
you
hear
go. There you go. Mm-hmm. Want to say a couple things about that progesterone?
me? Sure, sure. It has helped. I take it at night, just 5 drops, and I drink a little water, after about 15 minutes, but I sleep very well. And I sleep through the night, and I wake up refreshed, but it's taken a lot of the edge off. I used to just the stress. It kind of helps my mind clear. I'm more clear, and I can think about things before just reacting. So I have noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad. I know last time we talked, you were just like, I don't know what to do anymore. It's like
Oh,
you're
I've tried so
you're
many
at the
things.
low point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
doctor won't give you progesterone. So I'm like, well, let's just try this natural bioidentical one. And instead of the cream, we decided to go orally. And yeah, I muscle tested really well to that with you. So I'm really glad that you're doing that. So, and it doesn't require a huge amount, right?
No, no. And it doesn't taste bad. It's not
Right,
hard to take. And,
right, right.
and the results it's pretty remarkable. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just bioidentical. It's all natural stuff in there. So yeah, if any of you are interested, just reach out to me so that I can more individually assess this instead of kind of give you a blanket statement on it.
So you feel that will help me with my pain also?
Thanks, Kathleen. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So Chris, you may want to chime in too, because progesterone is really important for men too. And we started actually taking them. For me, it was more like I did the Dutch test. And if, you might want to do Dutch test too, Ilka, you can reach out to me and do a Dutch test just so that you know where your hormone is. Okay. Come January, let's say.
Yeah.
That's fine. So that you know where you start. Okay. Based on that, I was still in like a perimenopause level progesterone, but progesterone I knew helps me with a lot of the aches and pains. And I used to struggle a lot with pain. Like just this achy, no amount of massage will help me, no amount of movements will help me, no amount of heat or red lights or icing will help me. Like I've done everything I could and nothing helped. So I decided to do the Dutch test. And before I even did the Dutch test, we started on this progesterone. And I just, sometimes I forget, I go 2 days, 3 days, forget to do it. And then I go, oh, I need to get back on it. But I have noticed my pain like 100% subsiding. I don't have pain anymore. So Chris, you want to chime in about the progesterone and how that helped you with your pain?
I would actually point to Well, first of all, it helps with the inflammation across the board. And one of the reasons I started using it is because it's neuroprotective. So neuroinflammation is something that I particularly have issues with due to past brain injuries. And so one of the other effects of that anti-inflammatory support that you get from the progesterone is that it can help with cognitive function. So not only reducing pain levels, but also improving, like Kathleen was saying, how you're thinking, how you're able to respond rather than react to situations that come up. I've also noticed that myself. It helps me a lot more with focus and concentration. So there are a number of benefits for this that actually do begin with a similar point, which is reducing those inflammation markers in the body.
Yeah. And you are, you are doing what you can, Ilka. I know you've been taking those supplements diligently, or you did the cleanse with us, so you still have to do that. Okay. You still have to eat well. You can't
Yeah.
go crazy eating horrible stuff. You can't be doing a bunch of sugar, but you also need to know that you're at the age when you need to support your hormones, and then the estrogen is great too. Estrogen is very important, but number one thing that goes down is progesterone. And progesterone is the one that manages the pain. Estrogen tends to kind of heighten the pain. That's why DIM is really important, because it will clear out some of the excess estrogen or xenoestrogen, toxic estrogen. You can clear that out. So we've been doing that. But while we're doing that, we may need to start adding just a little bit of that progesterone and just see, it's not going to go wrong, basically, because everybody's progesterone is kind of nosediving at this point. Okay. By the time you're 60, we've lost 60% of our progesterone. Okay. And you don't want to wait till you're almost nothing left in your body in terms of your progesterone and start to go, oh my God, I got to put the progesterone back in. It's like, you could, but that'll take a lot of work to reverse your body. Right. So this is the time. So I'm glad that you raised your hand again about this,
Yeah,
because
I can use the cream for now, the one that I have that I told you, that cream for now until you send me. I'll remind you, I'll send you email to share that with me. And
yeah,
then,
I
so
will.
nothing bad is happening, like it's not rotting my bones or nothing crazy, because I was worrying.
No, that part I do not get yes on at all. I know you're worried that you're going to crumble tomorrow, but
I
you're
saw
not.
there is more humped on that side than this side. I said, oh my goodness. That's good.
Well, you're trying to protect it also, you're getting rigid. So make sure, you are moving them, but
Yeah.
this is the part that I really have been humbled by, the fact that the menopause and postmenopause, we're still in the frontier with this, because even though women been going through menopause for how many thousands of years, no one has really sat down and talked about this. And we have all been suffering in silence. Okay. But when I learned that the bursitis and shoulder pain is very common symptoms, one of those symptoms that the women get in postmenopause, I thought, oh my God, that's crazy. Right. So that's why I started to do a little bit of progesterone. And I swear to you, within 2 days, I was not having to have Chris work on my body for 2 hours at night. That's what this sweet man has to do, used to do all the time, because I was in so much pain. So I was doing a lot of fascia work and everything I could think of. I'm trained to do this, right? This is my training, but I couldn't feel better until I started doing progesterone. And within 2 days, I was like, oh my God, I have no pain. And it was a little strange, but makes sense now. Right. So now you've been cleaning up your diet. You've been adding the necessary minerals and magnesium. Stay tuned, everyone. Zorex, the owner of Zorex, Lynn, and I've been playing with the magnesium lotion so that it won't dry you out and it won't make you itchy. So it's coming. Okay. That lotion is coming. So you know what? When I send the progesterone thing for you, the liquid thing, I will put a little bit of the magnesium lotion oil things that we're playing with. I'll
Yeah.
put it in a little jar and send it to you.
Oh, please, thank you. I was wondering if I won something from the contest, but you tell me.
I'm going to send you that. Yeah. So
I
you can try
appreciate
it. I
it.
love it so much. I put it on the bottom of my feet. I put it on the areas that hurt, and it does not dry me out, and it doesn't make me itch. So, okay. I'm
Thank you
making
so
a note
much.
right here, Ilka. So, all right.
So it helped others too about the menopause window.
Yeah. It's just, I think all of us practitioners are learning too, as we go into menopause and postmenopause. It's like, oh my God, how come nobody's ever talked about this? Okay. So, it's a wild, wild west right now with postmenopause right now. But one thing is the progesterone helps to mitigate and balance your pain. Okay. So you're not in pain all the time.
You give me hope here. Thank you.
Right. And then sometimes the pain is just kind of your brain is sensing it. So you are wiring to sense your pain all the time. So sometimes yes, the pain is real, but sometimes relaxing the brain, like Chris said, progesterone can actually help with your brain inflammation. And you've had brain injuries too. So, yeah, I know. So brain injury might be wiring you to pick up the pain maybe more than other people.
Wow, I
So
never thought of that. I had a huge accident when I was in the middle of college, reminding me that. So that contributes to the pain.
right. Yeah. Chris, you
Okay.
want to say anything more about the brain? Are we good?
No, I think you mainly covered it, but I just want to reiterate that point that if you've had that kind of injury, you probably have more of a tendency to
Hmm.
feel some of those kinds of pain and to have that type of inflammation. So that's something that I have to deal with still, and I will for the rest of my life. But any of these um, supports that we talk about often, I mean, progesterone is not one that we've talked about so much, but that's a really, really helpful one. And then do keep doing the other ones that have to do with digestion, because that, I can tell you, Ilka, from my experience, I wasn't taking good care of myself really until about 15 years ago. And I was in very, very poor health at that point.
Mhm.
And it was when Masami and I both really changed the direction of how we were eating every day and adding into the supplements into it and all the things we talk about now. That's when my health really turned around, but it did take some time.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a few months. It was really something that happened. I mean, it was noticeable after a few months, but it really took me several years for that to really stabilize. So
Yeah.
try to be patient. It's really frustrating, but just try to be patient.
Yeah.
Remind yourself, your body is doing everything that it knows how to do with what you give it. Okay. So just allow it to have the time to do that work, and it's slow. So just do your best to be patient and thank your body, and it will thank you back.
Thank you guys. You're the best. I appreciate such a deep.
I'm really looking forward to it, Ilka, having you try the progesterone, and then
Yeah.
let's stay in touch and see what you feel, because
Yeah.
you can eat well, everyone, you can take good supplements, but it's hard to make progesterone when you're in postmenopause. It's just progesterone is not going to be produced that much, and it literally nosedives right around 60. Your progesterone just goes like this. And so you've got to catch it before you nosedive. But even you have nosedived, you can still reverse it. Okay. But I think this is something you and I needed to talk about. So I'm really glad that you brought it up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Everyone.
All right, Deborah. I think I asked you to unmute already. Whoop, where are you?
You
There
just
you
did.
go.
There we are.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
All good. Good to see you.
Me too. I'm not really having any problems. I just thought, well, I'd check in with you and see if there's anything that comes up that you are hanging on.
Well, I need more than that.
Okay.
I mean, you're doing fine,
Um,
but
I was interested in what you guys just had to say about the progesterone because I'm 58 and like I've been trying I use the hormone bundle. I don't know
yes.
if that has anything in there with
So
regards
yeah,
to
hormone, and then Deborah, what I sense from you is the sleep. There's something not quite good with the sleep going on here.
yeah,
So
that
you
too.
think you're going to bed late or something, your body just immediately said, please tell her to like prioritize her sleep. So
I keep trying. I'm trying to move the time earlier, and my body just won't do it. I mean, okay, I got my 90 night tea, and I got my jammies on, and I'm reading my most boring book, and I mean, I don't know, like
oh my God,
what?
what? Let's try progesterone. Seriously, that's not the cure all, but seriously, it helps with the sleep. It's so much better than melatonin. I swear to you. Like I have all these
Well,
supplements.
that worked, but I don't want to take that forever. I just feel like, okay, it's just another thing. I mean, I take all my other supplements, and
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
I stopped
you're
taking it.
overall doing fine, but your body definitely said this. Tell her the sleep is not being prioritized. But how about the Wi-Fi? Do you turn off your Wi-Fi?
I don't turn it off, but it's way in a different part of the house. So, and I don't have any boosters or anything anywhere near where I sleep. So,
Well, I mean, at least do a sleep hygiene and get one of those timer things that you can get. You plug it in. Like I don't know, Chris, you can explain it.
It's just a digital timer you plug the router for your Wi-Fi into. And then what it does is it shuts off on a timer and then it comes back on in the morning. So you can set it to go off right before you go to bed and then set it to come on right when you wake up. And that's one thing. And Masami, I just had a little thought too, which I'll have you comment on if you like, but it's GABA. Because Deborah, if you're somebody who is really stirred up in terms of, I mean, it could be stress, it could be the amount of work that your brain has to deal with on a daily basis. GABA is also something for women, and especially postmenopause, that's really key for sleep, because GABA is it's the body's main way of shutting off your brain. So if you're somebody that struggles with a racing mind, especially right as you're going to bed, which is very common, GABA can be very helpful because it is the main relaxer of the brain. So it's the one that de-excites the neurons of the brain. So that's just another thought to put into this mix.
I totally get yes on that one.
Okay.
I
Okay.
totally do.
Well, can you check in with me by email with not only the progesterone stuff, but with that too? Oh,
Yeah.
is that in your store?
I just want to show you the GABA that's here. Okay. And Chris
Oh,
did
there it is.
Chris did a video here also.
Okay.
You can watch that. But I only got yes on like just doing one capsule. You know, maybe about 1 hour before you are heading to read your most boring book. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
'Cause I got
GABA,
the jammies, I got the flannel sheets. I mean, I'm trying every damn thing to go to sleep. And it just, well, I mean, the relax on the calming, app now with this music. And I mean, I'm like, oh, come on.
But if you're
yeah,
sitting
let's
there, if you're sitting there and your brain is just buzzing, all of those other signals just kind of get deflected. So it's like you have to
Well,
start inside. Yeah.
it's not a new issue for me. I've
Yeah.
always been a super light sleeper,
Yeah.
and so was my mom. I'm wired that way, but it gets worse at menopause too. You just don't,
does
and I
it
don't want to
does.
take stuff. I hate that. So,
So
okay.
yeah, GABA one capsule, but just to email me so I can try to mail these things all at once kind of thing. So I'm not having to like mail multiple things and having to go to the post office and 2 different shipping kind of things. So just to email me. But I did write down GABA and progesterone. You're not going to go wrong using progesterone, really, this bioidentical kind. It's just so gentle. But it's I think Chris will attest to this, but I used to just toss and turn, and when I went into perimenopause and into menopause and in postmenopause, since I've been using progesterone, I'm doing so much better. But the sleep quality has changed dramatically for me. So I really think
That'd be nice.
and it's not like I need more hours of sleep. It's just more the depth of the sleep. It's gotten so much better that I wake up really awake. He knows that. That's like I wake up and I'm like,
Yeah.
good morning, and Chris is still like, oh, she,
Well, yeah, I get hot and cold flashes during the night, and so I'll wake up either freezing or throwing the covers off, and then I'll be freezing, or one way or the other. And I'm like, oh, crap, and then the peeing, and for heaven's sakes.
yeah. So you are having all kinds of postmenopause,
I
menopausal
mean, it's not something I haven't dealt with all my life, but it's getting old.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I don't know exactly, everything that you're taking. So it's hard to say, but make sure you are doing enough B vitamins during the daytime because that helps with the nighttime urination. Okay. Meaning it will lower the frequencies of that urination
Okay.
times too. Okay. So,
Okay.
all right. So yeah,
Okay.
that's a good start. I know overall you have such a great attitude about life and things are pretty good. It's just, yeah, your body was pretty clear on, we got to do something about this sleep, this 1/3 of
Okay.
my life. Right. So.
I'll shoot you an email, and
Sounds
you
good.
can maybe even send me a link to pay you or whatever, and I'll just send everything.
Yeah, let's go from there. And if we just write down when you email me the hormone bundle that you're taking, is it the Biotics one or is it the Zorex one? Just write it down. Okay. And maybe write down all the supplements you're taking. So just I have a sense of what it is that you're taking.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Okay, Hiromi. Let's go.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. So I have also a couple of questions. So I bought the nose bundles,
Mhm.
and then you told us how to use it, not to getting sick, but actually I got sick over the Thanksgiving. Then I have asthma, and my lung collapsed 3 times, the right side only. So my lung is a little bit weak, not a little bit, but it's my weakness. But I'm not quite sure how I can use this nose bundle to support me while I'm sick, not before the sick.
You mean the sinus spray?
Like a sinus play, complete care
Yeah, yeah,
plus.
yeah. So I started the
Also
conversation Yeah, so inside your mouth, you can spray the Complete Care spray, right?
Mhm.
And, Hiromi, you were on our cleanse too when we talked about getting the nebulizer. Remember that?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I have that. But
Okay, and
I
did you
have that, but I
uh,
didn't use it those while I'm sick because I didn't know
oh
it's
my God, you need
used.
to be using it.
Okay.
So whenever I go anywhere, I come back, I have a nebulizer on with the food grade HP.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, I have that. I bought from
right.
Amazon. So when
Oh,
I'm just even I'm sick and I use everything. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, you
Okay.
have to. You have to. And lungs, have you done my lung retreat?
No.
Oh, you should really. I mean, I'm seriously, everyone. That's like my favorite program I've ever taught. Seriously. It's one of the best. Yeah, Sue. Okay, good. Yeah. I go through all emotions, movements, supplements, music, meditation. I mean, you name it to support your lungs. So you got to do that. Your lungs really love omega-3s as well. So getting plenty of omega-3 capsules,
Mhm.
that's really good. Do you have full script account with us?
Full spring.
Full script?
I'm not sure. I think I ordered
Um,
from you, but I don't think I bought.
okay, I'll check it and then or Chris can check it, but I will plug in a couple of omega-3s that I like for lungs. Um,
Mhm.
and then there's another supplement directly to help the lungs too. So I'll take a look and see if you are in it. I'm looking it up right now, but oh yeah, you're in there.
I
So
mean,
I'm gonna plug in maybe a 2, 3 things in there that's supportive of the lungs. Okay.
okay.
Nebulizer, sinus spray, complete care. Okay. And then the eye defense is really, really good in terms of the immune because it's
Mhm.
got good source of vitamin A in there, vitamin B in there, many different things in there to support your eyes. But when we're sick, our eyes tend to really get tired. Our eyes, the vision isn't great. Yeah, you're nodding.
Mhm.
So, your eyes suffer. So eyes are probably the most sensitive organ in the body.
Mhm.
So when the body's struggling, your eyes will show the problems.
Right.
Okay. So that's why we added the eye defense as one of the immune bundle, and
Mhm.
that's why we created even a video saying, I know it may sound really weird that we have eye support in the immune bundle, but that's because you have to support your eyes. So eyes are very sensitive to sugar. So be careful. I know you work at the school. Don't let your school kids, moms and dads bring you a bunch of cookies. Okay. That's not helpful to
Okay.
teachers. Okay. So really, when you got lungs are kind of giving up, you have to make sure you are avoiding sugar.
Okay.
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 And, other things would be, I would definitely do the organ support. So like SOS, the one
Mhm.
I talked about early on.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you have that?
No,
You,
I don't.
yeah. So that might be good. Chris, do you have other ones that you might want to recommend on the lungs in particular?
Mm. Some of
She's
the,
got pretty good stuff. I mean, she's got Immune Plus. She's
yeah,
got and she's
I
got
mean,
Sign.
that seems like that's probably enough. And it might
Okay.
just be that you want to, it sounds like you maybe stepped back from taking those quite as often when you weren't feeling well. And just make sure you keep doing it. And one of the things
Okay.
that we make sure, especially with the Immune Plus, is that if we're feeling the onset of symptoms, and it could be something very minor, just like
Mhm.
itchiness in your throat or your eyes or your inside of your sinuses, we'll actually start taking larger doses of that just as a preventive measure. And
Mhm.
that's been very helpful to do that.
Mhm.
So I've had a few times, not so much. Well, no, it's happened one time in the last few weeks where I felt like something was kind of pushing on my system. I felt a little run down, and I made sure I took extra of the Immune Plus
Mhm.
several times a day. And
Mm.
by the next day, I felt completely fine.
Mm.
So it's a good way to boost your system when it's struggling.
Right.
Mm.
Right. So
Thank you.
we overdose. No, I mean, we shouldn't use the word overdose, but we really do take extra when we're sick. Or when we get the twinge of the like, oh, something isn't right, then we take extra. So do what you can to take a little more extra the immune support that you got.
Okay. Quick question. So
Mhm.
I purchased the whey protein. I never really use it, but I thought it a good idea to just like you said, and I mean teacher, so I'm three energy goes down after school. And then if I have a chocolate or some of thing, like I would eat it and try to use like fruits, but I thought this would be good. But what do I eat with this?
You
Just
don't have
water?
to eat anything with it. Just mix it with a little bit of water. You know,
Oh,
1 to 2 scoops. So when you're dipping around 3 o'clock, because you had your lunch around like noon or so, okay, and then you're
mhm,
dipping around 3:30 or so, okay, that's when you can go to the kitchen or wherever, you know, before you leave school.
mhm,
Take two scoops of that, mix it with the
mhm,
water, mix this really, really fast, and just drink
mhm.
it. Chew a little bit
Oh,
while you're drinking it. Hmm.
okay. Oh, that's good.
We know all about the school system because we were in school. Chris was a school teacher. I worked at a
Ah,
school that
okay.
Chris worked at as well. And, you know, I taught meditation and yoga for K through ninth grade.
Mhm,
And Chris
mhm,
was a 5th and 6th grader teacher, as well as a high school
mhm,
teacher. He was a vice principal. And
mhm.
oh my God, the amount of cookies and chocolates and cakes and all that that's just left at the kitchen and in the teacher's lounge is insane. Okay. So before you go there, because you're dipping in energy, make
Mhm,
that quickly, mix it with a little bit of water. You don't
mhm,
need a huge amount of water. Okay. Make it kind of thick and
mhm,
then just chew it and take it. Within 5 minutes, you'll feel a lot more relaxed and
mhm.
you'll have a stable energy because you're giving yourself the nutrients that you need. Okay. Right.
Sounds
So
great. So I think that's what I just a hunch that I needed. So I just bought it, but I don't know how to
yeah,
use it.
it's super easy to use and they don't clump up or anything. So,
Oh, great.
okay, good.
Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome. And I will be sending full script information to you with a couple of some
Mhm.
recommendations.
And
But you
also I'm interested in the
progesterone.
progestin
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, let me tune into that about that. I wrote it down, but I mean I get yes, but I just want to kind of settle down and then tune in. Okay. So I'll get
Okay.
back to you on that. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Great. Thanks. All right. Let's go to Mary and then we'll wrap up soon here.
Hello.
Hi, Mary. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Okay.
Well, my big thing is I think I'm just really wanting to simplify some things because I can just feel myself sort of almost being like, ooh, I don't want to take all this stuff, but I don't want to lose any ground that we've gained.
Yeah. Okay, so there, I think, you know, and then you can ask me more, but there's a sense that I get is that you are really, and all of us too, I think, wanting to live more seasonally too, you know. So think of moon cycles as a season, but they're having the 4 seasons as well, right? So winter time is the waning moon, it's the dark moon period, right? So you've done the moon work with me to know that when you're in the dark moon, waning moon, the 4th phase of the moon, this is not the time that I said to all of you, like, take more stuff. I didn't say that. I said, it's actually the time that you're not going to absorb very well because you're releasing, right? This is the time that you kind of want to just do the basics and hold off on some of the things. Okay. So, same thing is happening to me as well right now. I am seasonally not wanting to add a whole lot of stuff right now. So, I'm just doing kind of HCl. Even that, sometimes I don't take them every meal anymore. Maybe I take it once a day. And then I do some digestive 8 times, you know, 8x. GB is now down to like 2 times per week, 2 to 3 times per week now for me. Okay. So lowering some of that consumption's totally fine. Okay. But this is when you need to make sure to monitor and say, okay, did I go to the store and did I walk by somebody that was coughing? You know, so you have to take care of yourself a little bit differently. You may do the spray of complete care spray before you go into the store. When you come back out, you spray a little bit, things like that. You do the sinus spray. Maybe when you get home, you gargle, you wash your hands. You know, those are the kind of the things you want to do, right? And eating habits are supposed to be changing right now. We should be eating warmer soups and warmer foods, right? Like things that are more dense and grounding. So if you feel like I look at all this and then I don't want to do this. Totally. We're going underground right now. We're going into the dark moon phase. We just want to be covered up by the soil. Okay. We don't want to be forced to come out and grow. Okay. So completely makes sense. Okay. And the lunar year is going to end towards the end of January. So we're still in this lunar 13 months period. This is kind of going into a month and a half left of the lunar year. Right. So I say, if you feel like you're just going to do basics, you know, and then maybe don't give up on the B vitamins. That's where I do get yes on with you. It's just, yeah, occasionally, meaning maybe every other day you keep up with the B vitamins. Okay. So,
Okay.
and in your case, though, you will benefit a lot from magnesium.
I've still been doing all the magnesium.
So that's the magnesium loves you and your body loves magnesium. So there's this love affair. So don't give up on that love affair. Okay.
Okay.
But other than that, I think you're pretty set. Okay. So don't go crazy with all these other stuff. You can come back to it as the Lunar New Year begins. And when we're getting into maybe more of an equinox time, I think you'll naturally want to go, okay, Masami, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to start taking some of this stuff again.
And what's your take on types of exercise? I was
Mm.
looking at mixing it up, but then I thought, oh, maybe I'm trying to overdo it too soon.
So did you look at the exercises recommendations that we gave on that PDF
Yes.
on the winter? Those are all like very much muscle oriented, right? So using the quads, using squats, doing lunges, things like that. So it's not really focusing too much on the cardio right now, right? And seasonally wise, right now, you want to make sure your body remains warm. The warmth comes from the density and the quality of your muscles. So just think about doing things more like squats, leg lifts. When you're washing dishes, you'll see me actually doing leg lifts and things like that. Or I'll just do a kitchen counter squats, things like that, just to kind of stimulate my bigger muscles, glutes and quads. Okay. Those are main thing you want to focus on. Cardio is like lunar cycle wise, the cardio is really good around little bit after the full moon is a good time to kind of introduce cardio. So fall is actually really good for cardio, so this is when a lot of people do kind of a running, because it's a fresh air and then leaves are turning and it's just kind of naturally we want to do more cardio. Winter is not a hugely cardio time. It's more, how do you maintain the muscles so you don't lose them?
Okay.
Right. So I hope that helps. And I mean, of course, go for a little walk here and there. Those are the things. If you feel like you're overdoing it and then you're feeling the pain, is that what you're feeling? Like soreness or?
Not really. I've been just trying to be consistent, not like emotionally sort of fall into the hole.
Right. Yeah. Mary, sometimes we may actually have to fall into a hole because this holiday season is one of the toughest holiday seasons for you,
Yep, definitely.
right? This is going to be a rough one. So sometimes you just need to curl up more than look into exercises. Sometimes that's what you got to do for a day. Yeah. And then you get the one good sunny day and okay, you just tell yourself, sweetheart, let's go for a walk. And you take yourself on a walk, you know?
I've been doing that every day.
Yeah. And you're such a like diligently working kind of a person. You're always trying, you're trying to stand up strong and remain positive. But you also have to acknowledge how difficult this holiday is going to be.
Yeah.
This is tough. I can't put it in any other way. This
Yeah.
is going to be the toughest Christmas and New Year's for you.
Definitely.
So this is when you need to make sure you don't go down more than exercise. I want you to make sure you don't reach for that cookies. Okay. That you don't reach for chocolate baskets that are sold in Costco. Okay. All
I'm
right.
guilty of eating salad, but just because that's crunching and I'm not eating like chips or cookies.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Just acknowledge it. And that's really also important, you know? And Mary, you know how to reach me. Just reach me and just say, I'm having a heck of a day. And sometimes you just needed to say it. You don't need me to say anything back, but you need somebody to hear what you're going through.
Yeah.
Everybody just send her heart, please. Hiromi, thank you for putting the hearts up for her, but this is a tough holiday for her. Tough one. Yeah. So many people here have lost loved ones in their lives, going through divorce, separations. This is a tough time. So do what you can. Exercise is fine, but sometimes you just need to curl up and cry. And just don't give in to the chocolates and cookies and chips.
I don't want to lose any ground on the cleanse.
That's the hardest part. Yeah. That's when you just need to say, here it is, Masami, I'm working on it. Okay. That way you can stay accountable with me. All right, Mary?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Love you. Yeah. Let's take a moment though. It's not, holidays are tough. It's a tough time. I don't know, it was always tough like this, but it just seems like it's out in the open right now. You know, many of us are like walking around with open wounds. So, we just heard Jack Cornfield talk about just 200,000 people die every day, and about 250,000 people birth every day. So there's this like stretch of emotions that are happening to all of us. And then I think during the holidays, the most important thing is to speaking of exercise your heart, expand your heart capacity so that you can hold the sorrow and the deepest pain, but also you can hold the utmost joy of, maybe welcoming a new baby. Okay. I mean, it's like we're split deeply. And yeah, it's not just politics that are separating us and then creating rifts, but we are experiencing like so many layers of emotions this time of the year. So exercise your heart. Yeah. And know that you can. Chris, you want to say a little bit about the heart?
Hmm. Well, there's so much to say. It is simultaneously our most tender part and our most powerful part. And so it's something that we have this instinctive, I don't know, this instinctive tendency to try to protect it when what is often asked of us is actually to open it up.
Mm.
And that's one of the hardest things to do, especially when we have been weighted down by grief and loss and other kinds of hurts that have come our way. And so that's where things really get real. That's where the universe takes shape as us, is through our heart center.
Mhm.
So it's something that we have to keep open and keep it flowing. So I would just encourage that. And sometimes, like you said, Masami, with Mary, and so Mary, I'm saying this to you too, is just to just allow time to be still and silent and to feel and acknowledge everything that's going on, because it's the mind is going to want to take that experience somewhere else and not feel it.
Yeah.
But the heart needs to feel it. The heart needs to know, because that's what allows things to flow through us so that we can move to what's next. And I think that goes for all of us.
I mean, I think Rumi talks about it a lot, but it's like the heart actually needs to break in order to birth, you know.
That's a very old idea that, yeah, the heart has to break before we really know what we are, and we really can see the world for what it is, and find that compassion for others and ways for us to grow. That it goes through that. That's where the ground of that real love comes from, is through that breaking. So it's difficult. It's always difficult.
Well, and then I think that's why we decided to do the waymaking this year with the theme of hearing the call. It's not just about the calling of like, what's my occupation? That's fine too, but hearing the call from within. And so oftentimes we distract ourselves because it's so painful to go to our heart center by eating crunchy things, even salad, or, make yourself exercise or distract yourself. But sometimes you just need to have the courage enough to dive into the pool of pain and sorrow that is in your heart center right now, that wants to have you dip into. But start with your toes, start with your ankles, slowly dip in. Or some of us, like me, I would just dive in from head first,
And
but
you might
yeah.
feel like you're going to break under the weight of it. You might feel like you're going to disappear if you feel the full extent of that feeling that's crushing. And you might. And it's okay if you do. And that's the hardest part to really understand. And we can't understand it through our minds. We have to let our hearts open to it, because we come out of what seems like the ashes and the rubble of all of that hurt as a completely different person. And now we are somebody who can actually be there for ourselves, and we can be there for others. So it's a path that no one wants to take, but it's also a path that makes all of us better and better together.
Yeah. I want to read what Ilka said too. Thanks so much, MNC, for your valuable support. You're welcome. I did skip some exercising and curled up and rested. I'm grieving for a great friend I lost too. Right. Yeah. And Mary Basse says, thank you so much, Masami and Chris. This has been so helpful to review some exercising and, oh no, that's, hold on, skip, sorry. Review, great reminder to stay away from the sweets. Love you both so much. Love you too. Crying has really helped being a little over a year without Raj. Yeah. Yeah. It's never easy. Holidays are just really a tough time, you know. So I think, you know, I kind of want to wrap up here today. And just, you know, I think what's important right now is that the world is pretty overwhelming right now. Okay. There's just a lot going on, from Syria to in the war in Gaza still to the Russia and Ukraine and what's going on with this transition in the United States with the presidents, and just there's a lot going on, you know, and not to mention your personal life. So overwhelm is a shutting down kind of emotions. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, number one, your body is probably asking you to shut down for a little bit. Okay. It might be for 15 minutes. It might be for a half a day. It might be for a couple of days, but it's just asking you to just go, can we just shut down for just a few minutes and do something other than anything, like meaning nothing? Can I just do nothing? Can I just look at the sunset? Can I just stare out the window with a cup of tea? Allow those pauses, okay, harvest pauses in between. And I look at like nature, you know, right now the trees have been shedding most of the leaves. We still got a couple more trees left to shed. You know, the leaves are slowly starting to come down for some of our neighborhoods. But everything is actually letting go. Everything is pausing. Everything around us except for human beings in a Costco parking lot, right? Are pausing. Just it goes against nature, that we are part of the nature. We are the universe inside. So we have to be a little more conscious of that, but honor the seasonality within us. And so if you feel like, yeah, you know what, I just want to slow down with some of these, you know, for instance, supplements, that makes total sense to me. Okay. And at the same time, don't stop everything because your body still needs some support. But yes, you can be a little bit more picky in which one you need to be taking, because this is not the time that you're growing like spring. So shedding, pausing, releasing, stillness, silence. Find those things that's not available in most of the human-made world. Okay. It's noisy. People are mad driving. Okay. Raging at each other. It's crazy. So see if you can find even 5 minutes, even at the parking lot before you go into the store. Just go, I'm just harvesting some pauses right now for my heart. Okay. Do those things because that will nourish you. And, you know, if you can join our waymaking, because this is when we really, really dive deeply into this topic and more. We're very excited to, and it's not even excited, it's just, it's very much, we are called to do this as a theme this year. So, you know, join us and then do some deep kind of a internal journey at the end of the year. So you don't just go to the next year and repeat the same pattern and never grow, never release, never process. And we just carry the same trauma year after year after year. Take the time to do something for yourself. Okay. Whether that's waymaking or whether that's pausing, whether it's journaling. Yeah, that's what's going to nourish you. Okay. And, you know, since this is a health intuitive thing, I do think that we're finally, as menopause and postmenopausal women, we're finally understanding more about women's bodies. So more to come, really. It's an exciting time to be alive, learning about hormones, learning about how to take care of our hormones. And At the same time, here's the thing about menopause and postmenopausal women's oxytocin. Okay. Oxytocin is the love and cuddly hormones, right? It's the hormone that gets released when you're hugged, when you have sex, when you're with your family, when you're doing things that you love, even like dancing, singing, all those things as well with the group. But a lot of us may not have a full support system. You might be going through holidays by yourself, or maybe just with a, very limited number of people, your family's far away, whatever, right? Oxytocin is something that we produce less and less and less as we go into postmenopause. So seasonally in the winter time, you have to make sure you're giving yourself the extra oxytocin through what you love doing, what makes your heart like open with love and joy. That could be making yourself a nice meal for yourself. Okay. That gives you the boost in oxytocin. Could be going for a walk with your pets, having some time with your pets, playing music from your era. Okay. Like if it's your 60s music that you love, then crank it up. Okay. And make yourself a nice meal. That's going to get your oxytocin up. For me, it's all the way 80s, baby. Okay. 80s and 90s. Okay. So and then disco inferno music works too. So those gonna give you some oxytocin. I love listening to Japanese music because, that brings so many memories for me. Okay. So go back to what gives you those kind of something that makes you like you're being hugged. That's very important as you go into this season, but also post-menopause. Okay. Oxytocin is something that we need to be a little bit more conscious of producing because oxytocin actually balances your blood sugar. Okay. So if you're having blood sugar dysregulations, so your energy is dipping, you have hungry, pains, or you get hangry, or you are like up and down with emotions, that's also a sign that you not only have blood sugar dysregulations, but you might not be producing enough oxytocin. Okay. So cuddling with your animal, maybe get a nice fuzzy blanket for yourself, curl up and cry, that can release oxytocin. Okay. Like I said, music, but do things for yourself because this may not be the season for everyone to go to holiday parties and enjoy. And some of us are invited to holiday parties and we don't enjoy going to it. Okay. That doesn't give me any joy to go to a bunch of holiday parties. Okay. So, you can decide what works for you, but find ways in which it gives you an internal squeeze. Okay. That's really, really, really important. So it's not just about, I got to mind over my own snacky, tendencies or my eating. I want to eat sugar. It's like, no, how do I make myself get the oxytocin? Okay. There are plenty of a lot of information out there how you can get your oxytocin. I give you some things you can get started with, but those are some of the things you can do. All right. Any other thoughts, Chris? If not, we'll wrap up anything we want to read.
I wanted to read Sue's comment about waymaking because
Oh,
for
yeah.
those of us that just that word overwhelm, if that word overwhelm has been on your mind or on your body anytime this year, you probably want to think about doing waymaking because that's really an antidote to this sense of overwhelm. And the whole theme that we're doing this year, which is hearing the call of our lives, is all about reducing the noise, sitting in that quiet space that allows us to receive the signals from our lives about what really matters. And so Sue had this to say. She said, waymaking is such a wonderful way to end the year and transition into the next. I love waymaking. And I have to just tell you, I don't know if it seems like it's easy for us when we present and we kind of conduct the whole communal ritual that waymaking is, but it is hard. It is demanding. And it's something that Masami and I both really, really struggle with, while at the same time, it's entirely uplifting and it gives us this huge energy boost into the next year because it's this opening into what's going on now, what has happened in the past year, and it's this invitation to receive what's coming. But it's so difficult because it absolutely requires us to dig deep into what's going on for us personally and together. And so we're not immune from that, is what I'm saying. It's a challenge for us also, both in the preparation for this, but also it squeezes us to kind of get that refinement that you see in the final presentation. And so I welcome all of you to do the same thing. Feel what's coming up, really feel into it as we come to the end of this year. It's stampeding to a finish. Every day seems like it's rolling faster. So really consider taking that time to slow down together as we hit that into the year and really consciously step forward into the next. So I think that's the last thing I wanted to say. And thank you all for your comments.
Yeah, Dancing Queen, ABBA, absolutely. Ilka, Yvette, yes, disco dance. I say dance like crazy, the whole entire song. And right after it, you turn it off and lie flat on the ground with the arms out and legs opened, okay? And just lie flat and just enjoy the total silence for a few minutes. That's a beautiful practice. It really, really is.
Well,
So
we're going to be
that's-
doing some of that kinesthetic, somatic voice kind of activity in waymaking. And I think that's Shelley, that last comment that says, I agree with Sue. It's always been one of my favorite ways to shift myself. I'm grateful you created it. Yeah, so come join us.
You're welcome,
I'll-
Marcy, too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I might have skipped a couple, but anyway, I'll make that my last comment. Thank you everyone for coming, and yeah.
We'll do a call about waymaking and in next week actually about what waymaking is. So stay tuned to that if you're curious. But I hope this was helpful, everyone, and reach out to me if you're interested in a progesterone. It's more something that I don't talk about it publicly. It's only private clients that I mention about the progesterone, just because it's it's something that I know it works, but I kind of want to tune into you before I just kind of give a blanket statement. So that's why I've been holding back on the progesterone, but we've been using this progesterone thing for coming up on 9 months or so, and it's made a huge difference in our lives. So it's something, just email me and let me know. Okay. So, okay. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for all your beautiful questions, and I will see you all soon. Bye.